Hello and welcome to our review of Veronica Mars. I'm Paul,
And I'm Dave.
and this week we are discussing episode 2 of season 2, Driver Ed. Alrighty, so let us start off. Let's start off with the number one song in America. Dave, what is it?
And again, I wouldn't be too surprised if it hung over from last week with the Gold Digger.
Yep, it's still Gold Digger, and it's going to be for a while.
A decent while, or it's going past your tolerance while?
Dave, it being the number one song for a week was past my tolerance level.
Yeah. My apologies for your suffering.
I fucking hate that song. Anyway, moving on to the number one film in America. So the weekend after this episode aired, what was the number one film? It's a classic stop motion animation film. Or I guess technically it's claymation.
Okay, I think you kind of gave it away with the particular thing from there, and I'm just sort of trying to think back because I think I know precisely who it is, but I'm not sure if it's the one movie or something else entirely. I think I'll probably go for the obvious guess, but it is Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Yes! Yes, it is. I like.
Uh,
I love Wallace and Gromit.
yes, very much so. It's the case that either a supposed new animation has come out recently or is going to be coming out in the next couple weeks and or months.
Yes, so there was a new film that premiered in the UK on Christmas Day.
I see.
Yes, it is called Wallace and Gromit. Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul.
Yes.
I think it comes to. I think it came to Netflix early in this year,
Okay.
and it looks fantastic because a certain villain is back.
Of course, with titling and little bit of advertisement I vaguely remember about, it's like, oh my gosh, it's that particular thing again. Oh god, it's that particular thing again. This is going to be amazing slash terrifying.
Yes, Feathers McGraw is back, and I can't wait to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Alrighty. So moving on to video games. What came out the week of this episode? Let's take a peek here, see if there's anything particularly interesting. So, do we have anything interesting? Not really.
I think just quickly double checking with the list of
Oh,
things.
there is one, yeah.
I'll say your one. And then I'll mention the.
So the one I saw right now is on October 3rd. If you had a GameCube, you could pick up Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Yes. The particular one that I managed to pick up, play through a decent amount, very much adore, but also the case of it's part of the Shadow Pokemon series that the first GameCube game kind of has more of its popularity than XD does.
Yes, and actually there's one other kind of big one here. October 4th, if you had a Nintendo DS. I don't know how many people remember this game, but I feel like it was big at the time. Trauma Center Under the Knife.
Yes, with that particular series. Again, kind of the case of I've managed to pick up later on games from different consoles, but never managed to pick it up on the DS. But very much an interesting kind of game to mesh with DS's control style.
Yeah, and I kind of am surprised we haven't got a new one in quite a while.
Again, there's only so many things that could supposedly go with it. I'm sure there's most likely someone that could come up with a decent enough story to get one on supposedly the Switch, but it would also kind of be the hard sell of, despite the fact that the Switch does have motion controls, how many people want to use motion controls?
Well, I figured, like, not necessarily on the Switch, but, like, Nintendo's, like, been, like, slowly moving into, like, mobile games. This feels like a guaranteed hit if you put it on, like, mobile.
That is definitely true. Though sadly, I don't think it would fit up with the model that most other particular popular mobile games from Nintendo or that are mobile devices kind of mesh with.
Maybe. I don't know. So
Ooh,
let
and
us chat.
before quickly moving on, there's
Oh,
one particular release that I wanted to mention
sure.
at around that time on October the 4th from Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow for the Nintendo DS.
Ah, yes. Which Castlevania is that?
This goes into the Castlevania storyline of random Japanese boy discovers that, haha, you're gonna be the next Dracula. And he kind of suffers with the case of trying to not become Dracula, and or in some stories become Dracula, and having to deal with some of the Belmonts, uh, his particular storyline and whatnot. It's mostly best known for its Metroidvania traversal and the story of your skills and abilities are gained from the monsters that you defeat.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I am not a big Castlevania fan.
It's one of the cases of from there was an older release on the Game Boy Advance that meshes with this one on the DS
Mhm.
that were re-released on older Nintendo consoles that I managed to pick up. And with the Game Boy Advance one, it is very much fun. And despite the fact that it's questionable that there's touch controls with this particular game, it also looks very interesting.
Okay, okay. So now we shall move on to the episode. So, oh boy, this is
Yeah, kind of the marvelous case of typical crazy stuff is going on and New Year's gonna start, and then, oh boy, tragedy and Survivor's Guild.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Veronica learns from Duncan that Meg, the only survivor of the previous episode's school bush crash, is still in a coma. Sheriff Lamb reveals to reporters that Ed Doyle, the bus driver, had previously attempted suicide. Doyle's daughter, Jessie, asks Veronica to help that her father didn't kill himself. Veronica agrees after witnessing other students bullying Jessie. Woody Goodman, played by Steve Guttenberg,
Yeah, yeah.
is running for the position of county supervisor and asks Keith to run for sheriff. Veronica blames herself for Meg being on the bus and fights with Duncan. Logan and Kendall are nearly caught having sex by her stepchildren, Dick and Beaver and her husband, Dick Casablancas Sr. Mr. Casablancas invites Logan to accompany him and Dick to a firing range. Wallace meets and is immediately attracted to Jessie Cook, a new student. He offers to help investigate when her father's car is damaged by a hit-and-run driver. Veronica visits the convenience store clerk, who was the last person to speak with Ed Doyle. The convenience store clerk is played by Kevin Smith,
Okay.
and I can only assume he wrote all of his own dialogue.
In most cases, that would kind of track.
She realizes that Doyle made a small purchase to get change for the store's payphone. Veronica uses phone records to learn that Ed Doyle made a call to his neighbors, Jeff and Carla Cotter. But they tell him that he called the wrong number. Sheriff Lamb enters Jesse's home with a search warrant and finds a suicide note saved on Ed's computer, but he has to be a complete moron to assume that that's a suicide note because it's clearly not.
Mm.
I'm sorry I had to editorialize there, but he has to be fucking stupid. Veronica visits Carl again and shares her theory that Ed's note was actually meant to tell his wife he was leaving her, which it clearly was. Carla reveals that she and Ed were in love and assures Jesse that he would not have driven the bus off the cliff on purpose. Veronica reconciles with Duncan and they have sex in his hotel room. She runs into Logan after he is leaving Kendall's hotel room. Beaver finds a condom wrapper in the Casablancas' living room. Keith tells Woody he has decided not to run for sheriff, but changes his mind after seeing Lamb refuse Jesse's request to reopen her father's case. Wallace identifies the hit-and-run driver as a reporter who is posing as a student to get information about bus crash victims. Wallace gets her insurance information, and Jackie rewards him with a kiss. Sheriff Lamb inspects a dead body that is washed up on the beach and finds Veronica Mars written on the man's palm. So, what do we think of this episode, Dave?
Oh boy. If the particular things didn't go far enough with just the end of the last episode heading into. Ay boy.
So, we've got a couple of important things for the series arc, or for the season arc here. We find that Meg is the only survivor of the bus crash, but she's in a coma, so we can't really ask her anything about her.
Yeah.
And the bus driver had a history of depression, and Sheriff Lamb finds what appears to be a suicide note, and Veronica proves that he was leaving his wife, but Lamb doesn't listen because he's a fucking moron,
Yeah.
and closes the case. Baseball team owner Woody Goodman is running for basically mayor of Neptune and wants Keith to run for sheriff, which Keith eventually accepts, and we find a dead body washing up on shore with the name Veronica Mars written on their palm.
Yeah. Most everything kind of connects and supposedly might lead into interesting stories, but gosh darn that one last thing with Veronica Mars being written on the palm, just coming in and be like, oh god, what the heck is this?
Yes. I will also say that I really enjoyed having Kevin Smith in this episode. It's fun for, like, he has a really fun scene with Kristen Bell, which I thought, I'm like, that was a lot of fun. You two should do more stuff together, because they clearly have very good on-screen chemistry. Yes, so that is about it that happens in this episode. So,
I think just before we finish up, just
Sure.
kind of the ideas of, gosh, Veronica, with all this particular stuff kind of going on, is also kind of going through the ringer with survivor's guilt and trying to figure out all the things from here. And then the other things in the background of her dad supposedly getting involved with becoming sheriff again. Supposedly good, but is it really good? And then Logan. Logan. Just, oh god, all the particular things that are
wait.
either building up or supposedly going to be causing some issues.
Wait, are you telling me that Logan is making bad decisions?
No, just the case of Logan is Logan. It's like, why do you have to be Logan?
Yes. So, next week is an episode called Cheaty Cheaty Bang Bang.
Matches up so well, but why do things?
Which is a great episode title.
Yes.
So in this episode, Veronica is going to investigate Kendall at the request of her stepson Beaver, and eventually find some important information about Logan.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Veronica also is going to try to help Wallace get a date with Jackie.
Yeah, with those particular things coming in. The particular character, I'm not sure if I got the name of the actress for her coming into the show. But whether or not she was new or if it was an actor that was getting more of a bigger part within the show.
Oh, do you mean the person who plays Jackie Cook?
Yes, I believe Tess Luann Thompson.
Yes. This was her first episode. She appeared in the credits for episode 1. Oh no! Technically, she did appear in episode 1. She's on screen for about 10 seconds.
But that's enough to also have her in the opening credits.
Yes, because she's the one who, when Veronica and Duncan are talking at the cafe or whatever she works at, she's the one who asks for a drink.
Okay.
So yeah, she's in maybe 10 or 15 seconds in that episode. But yes, she is one of our new cast members who is in the opening credits.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what will happen with her going forward. So,
Yeah.
Until next time, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.